Hey everybody, Eric here with another Black History Moment for February 17th, Black History Moment 17. Today, continuing the spotlight on African American transgendered folk due to the National Park Service, under the direction of the Department of the Interior, erasing any reference of queer and transgender from the Stonewall Inn Museum that occurred 2 days ago. So the spotlight today is going to be on Andrea Jenkins, as well as, I believe, Janet Mock, or Janet Monk. Let me verify. Just 1 minute. 1 second here. Yes, Mock, M-O-C-K, Janet Mock. So we'll start with Andrea Jenkins. Andrea was born in 1961 and assigned male at birth. However, later in life, in 2017, Andrea made history when she became the first African American openly transgender woman elected to public office in the United States. As a politician, poet, activist, and community historian, Jenkins strives to bring the notion of love into the public discourse. Now, skipping through the early life, coming to the forefront when she put her foot into the political arena, Jenkins' political career began in 2001 when she served on the successful campaign of the Minneapolis City Council candidate Robert Littlegren. She then became one of his staffers. In 2005, City Council member Elizabeth Giddens hired Jenkins as her aide. While working for Giddens, Jenkins won the 2011 Bush Fellowship dedicated to transgender issues, helped establish the Transgender Issues Work Group, and organized the City Council Summit on Transgender Equality and the problems facing the transgender community in Minnesota, both in 2014. After 12 years as a council aide, Jenkins began curating the Transgender Oral History Project at the University of Minnesota's Jean Nicholas Tretter Collection in Gay, Lesbian, Bisexual, and Transgender Studies. A primary focus of her curation is to grow the collection of trans narratives by recording oral histories. In 2015, Jenkins served as the Grand Marshal of the Twin Cities Pride Parade. When Giddens decided not to seek re-election in 2016, Jenkins ran for the open seat. She was also motivated to run because of the 2016 presidential election. Reminder, the current president's first turn at president during that time, and wanted to make changes around issues of equity in Minneapolis. Jenkins took her mom to the polls and later said, I quote, I do want to just acknowledge the tremendous feeling of voting for oneself. It's unlike anything you can imagine, unquote. And as stated earlier, Jenkins won her 2017 election to represent Ward 8 with 73% of the vote. She was one of a few transgender candidates who won their elections during that cycle. Her colleagues in the city council then elected her vice president of the council. In the summer of 2020, Jenkins was again thrust into the national spotlight after the murder of George Floyd by police in Minneapolis. Floyd was a resident of Jenkins's district. In the wake of Floyd's murder, Jenkins insisted racism was a public health crisis and played a central role in re-examining the funding and structure of Minneapolis's police department. In 2020, Jenkins won re-election to the Minneapolis City Council with 86% of the vote. Her colleagues then unanimously made her president of the council, another historic first for an openly transgender person. With her new mandate, Jenkins wants to bridge gaps in her community, fight for accountability within the city's police department, and expand access to affordable housing, health care, and living wages. She hopes her public service, quote, serves as an inspiration for other trans and gender nonconforming people, unquote. While her jurisdiction may be limited, Jenkins continuously hears from transgender people from all over the country seeking guidance and help. In an interview with the Washington Post, Jenkins said, quote, transgender people have been here forever. I look forward to more trans people joining me in elected office and all other kinds of leadership roles in our society, unquote. If you are viewing this video, please understand transgender people will never be erased from our collective history. Take Andrea Jenkins as an example. You cannot be erased. Now we'll move on to Janet Mock. I had never heard of Janet Mock until Black History Week and Pride Month, Black History Month and Pride Month, when I was working for Amazon and came across this information when I was creating the television feed at my building for Black History Month, and found this information. Janet Mock, who is a transgender writer, director, and producer, has been a leading voice in advocating for transgender rights and visibility. As the author of Redefining Realness and Surpassing Certainty, Mock has shared her personal journey as a transgendered woman of color, challenging stereotypes and increasing visibility in media representation. Mock's work extends beyond literature to television, where she served as a writer, producer, and director on shows such as Pose and Hollywood. Through her storytelling and advocacy, Mock has pushed for greater acceptance and understanding of transgender individuals, paving the way for more inclusive narratives in media and in society. So this concludes the Black History Moment for today, and we will see you on the next Black History Moment video. Have a good evening.